So in part two here of this app, the app is a real simple button click, count the number of button clicks. The most simple event handling app. And I've kind of already described how we kind of create our user interface objects in the Java code, and we do that in our onCreate method. What I want to talk about now is the behavior. So how do we handle events? Well, in Java, we typically will implement some interface, some listener, okay? And in this case, we're implementing something called onClickListener, okay? And it's a function that essentially knows how to do one thing, is handle an onClick method. So this interface defines one method, and it's called onClick. So when we say click count activity implements onClickListener, we are basically giving ourselves the responsibility of defining the onClick method, the one that will handle a click. And if you'll notice down below here, I've got a method called onClick. I better have this or I'll get a syntax error because I'm implementing onClickListener. And if we looked at the definition of onClickListener, we'd see that it's got that one method, the one function that every class that implements onClickListener must implement. So here it is, and in fact what we do is add one to our count and change the result text view. So this is what happens when the button is clicked. Okay, so to handle events, you implement a listener. In this case, it's a click listener, but it might be, an SMS listener or something more complex. And then you define the method to handle the event. There's one last bookkeeping method or bookkeeping thing you must do, and you must register this class, click count activity, with the particular component. So if you look at this code at the bottom of the onCreate, what we do is we call button 1, our button object. We say, look, set your listener to this. This, of course, refers to our instantiation of click count activity, to our activity. And we're basically saying, button, look, when you get clicked, you want to tell me, meaning click count activity, about it. So the button object ends up having the click count activity as its data member, and when it gets clicked, it knows to send this onClick call to click count activity, and we get to handle it. So that's the basics of how listeners